If you're like me, you probably never watched the ISAC before. ISAC stands for the Idol Star Athletic Championship. It's basically the MCU event of all of K-pop. It's where every group that's currently active, except a few here and there, get together and they have a competition of all these athletic categories. So you have relay, which is running. You have dance sport. You have archery. And then there's also futsal, which is a miniature version of soccer. For those that aren't familiar with it, it gets pretty hyped the way they set it up. And this whole thing, watching it from start to finish, it has been such a fantastic event. If you are a multi-stan in 2024, this is the event for you. And I'll talk about why it's extra special this year. In addition to the fact that they didn't have one in 2023, they skipped a year. So the last one was in 2022. They're kind of passing the baton, as you will. So for this event, my favorite things that happened in this event were individual moments, the cross-idol interactions, the interactions between each idol. I think it's just fantastic. Not only are you watching this, going through, trying to like spot your favorite idol in the crowd. If you're going through it, it's just a blast regardless, right? It has some replay value. You can go back, look at certain things. Very, very interesting moments happened. Basically, the whole thing, I would say it's like a giant clip farm for your favorite idols. Going through Twitter, I see tons of people posting clips from ISAC 2024. So there's certain moments, like especially I do want to go into. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of go over like my favorite moments. And mostly, I just want to say like, it really shows what the spirit of being an idol is. You know, the idol part of K-pop idols, right? Because obviously, they're not going to all get to perform. If you see the amount of people at ISAC, there's no performance here in terms of like performing your fave, letting your fave perform their songs or even promoting any type of comeback album, right? It just wouldn't be fair to all the other groups that are participating because it's a lot of groups. It's a lot of groups. And it makes you realize like all the fan wars that are happening on Twitter, all of that's bullshit. In reality, no one cares. So yeah, the whole event is just fantastic. And yeah, in this video, I'm gonna go through and I'll go through some of my favorite events and some moments that happened. So one of the first events that happened in the ISAC is the 60-meter relay. And it's just a bunch of people running, but it's your favorite groups. They start with the girl groups and then they go with the boy groups. There's no co-ed competition here. The girl groups compete with the girl groups, boy groups compete with the boy groups. And one of the funny things they introduced is something called the Yoon curse. And the commentator for the Yoon curse is a person who, unfortunately, every time he roots for someone, that person sustains some type of injury. Eventually, they upgrade the meaning to mean like whoever he votes for ends up losing. But that's in essence what it is. And coming into this for the first time, not knowing that, I thought that was hilarious. Every show's got their little gimmicks. And here you can root for your favorite idols to win. And the thing is, like, these idols, they dance and perform constantly. So they're pretty much in peak physical shape in a sense. And it's pretty entertaining to watch. It's like kind of like watching your favorite Olympian perform because they're super fit, or very attractive people taking selfies because it's fun to do when you don't look like a garbage bag, right? That's just reality. I don't make the rules. It's just fun to watch people who are good at things do things that they are good at. You know what I mean? So the 60-meter relay continues a bit, and then they kind of put a pause into it so then some artists can recover, and then they get to the finals at a later time for the relay race. Coming up next is archery, and here is where things get, woo! Some moments happen here, boys. One of my favorite moments is the interaction. It seems like favoritism, but it is what it is. When M-Mix goes up and they do their shots. And it's hilarious because the leader of M-Mix is not participating this year. She became a commentator. So it's funny to watch her reactions to her team doing well or not so well. But at the end of the day, it's just like a fun competition and everyone's having fun. And these gold medals that's what they're playing for. or competing for is like to win a gold, silver, or bronze medal of the ISAC. So then the archery competition goes on for a little bit, and then after the archery competition, they go back to the relay race, and then they finish that off, and that ends up being episode 1 of ISAC. It's a pretty fun episode. You know, you see a lot of your favorite idols. Some groups haven't even shown up yet because there's so many of them, and it's just kind of the nature of how the recording goes. Episode 2 continues, and the archery competition is underway. It is mostly the males archery competition. You have, I personally am not the biggest fan of the modern boy groups, but the boy groups come out, they perform some pretty good shots here. Very consistent shooters from this side. Of course, you have your moments. And then after that, you have a small soccer match, which is consisting of Team Legend, which has a lot of the oldies, and then you have the Team Super Rookies, which has a lot of the newer members of the K-pop industry. And the gimmick is the Legends, they play with their one specific team, while as the Team Rookies can substitute out multiple players as much as they want. So therefore, Team Rookie has an advantage where they can constantly go all out. You see some of the names here. You see some people that have been in this industry for a while. You have someone from Infinite, BTOB, Leo Vix. You have I'm not even familiar with some of these names, right? And that's okay. You know what? That's fine. I'm not saying I'm like a K-pop guru and I know every person, everything. And then on the other side, you have some of the newer people like Amper's One, 82 Major nowadays, ZB1, Gravity, etc. And this actually made me more interested in the sport overall. I think in a giant soccer field, you have a lot of running around. There's not too much action for my taste. So having a smaller field where you have constant back and forth, everyone's kind of on the offense all the time, it was kind of exciting. I think this was one of the better moments from ISAC. I think this event, even though I don't listen to the boy groups, the physical activity itself, I think is very, very entertaining. I think this is amazing. So yeah, I don't want to spoil who wins. There's some moment that happen, some really, really exciting scenes. If you look at the crowd, it's the crowd for boy groups, it's almost 100% female. That's the fan base. Painting a picture of it is kind of hilarious. So then after the soccer match, you enter the breakdancing competition. So they have two dancing components. They have a breakdance competition, and then they have a dance sport, which is more along the lines of different disciplines like jive, etc. But breakdance is more on the side of, hey, let's do some pop lock, some freezes, some b-boy style, which is a more classic breaking. Everyone's favorite groups showed up, different groups, different competition. Fuck, what am I saying? It's so fucking hard to record without a script. Oh my fucking god. But I hate reading scripts. So yeah, the breaking dancing competition is over. A group wins, whether you're happy or not, you kind of just move on. You're like, yeah, this is the criteria. You can call rigged, #never rigged, #never biased. And yeah, that ends up being the end of the second episode, which is still a fantastic run. I like the way they break things up. Having the soccer match being in just this episode alone is pretty entertaining overall. I might even start to watch soccer because of that, because goddamn, that was entertaining. I'm not a big soccer guy. So then episode 3 of ISAC 2024 starts, and you have another archery competition, but this time it's co-ed. So you have boy groups with girl groups, and they form a team together to represent the company that there are. So these are basically company teams duking it out at the archery competition, which is a little different than group versus group or the Center Alliance team, which I think they do when there's not enough members from one group that is participating at ISAC. So they get like 1 or 2 members from this group, 1 or 2 members from that group, smush them together, call it the Center Alliance group. So after the archery competition, each episode, there has been a couple of those so far, we get into what is one of the most impressive performance segments, the Dancesport competition. And this is where a group that I've been following, unis, we end up seeing Nana. We also see Suki from Billy. We see like plenty of groups. And I didn't realize like that's how they score things. Like all the dancers look magnificent in their outfits. The male dancers look like they're chisel sculptures from the gods. Absolutely crazy event. Little bit intros that they do before each dance. They get out there, they're really doing their thing. They look like they're having a good time too, and I think that's really important when it comes to judging. That you don't want to watch like someone struggle out, right? Like I said before, like when someone's good and doing something that they're good at, and you know it looks impressive, it looks effortless, and it looks like they're having fun. You get some shots in the camera. You see Sowon getting farmed for her reactions because they're so genuine. It's like, again, for certain groups, it's their first time ever at ISAC. I would say a lot of groups here, because I mentioned before, this ISAC really feels like a passing of the torch. The groups that are here, you don't see the old groups, you don't see the old giants of the industry, you see all these newcomers, you see a lot of 5th gen, and there's argument of where 5th gen starts, when 5th gen starts, what classifies 5th gen. Let's be honest, like this is 5th gen, these are 5th gen groups. Most of the groups here would be considered 5th gen, and that's okay. And you know, I don't know if it was like an industry-wide decision for 3rd gen groups to not show up, but it seems like it's a lot of newer groups that didn't really get their time to shine before. And this event has been fantastic. The way they set it up, the way it transitioned smoothly, and not to mention the change that they did this year was they allowed people to release video footage and fan cams of the event a month ago, like way back. So even though a lot of us have seen and are spoiled on the winners of certain events, it was still a blast to go through and watch the whole thing, because it has been edited through, it has been carefully curated and put together in a digestible format. So you're not just eating like 1 or 2 clips of random events here and there. So Dancesport occurs, and it's fantastic the way dancers are out there busting a move. They're just doing their thing. It was just magnificent to watch. And a lot of people that watch K-pop, watch or listen to K-pop, also like to watch live performances, because the way they move on screen is just very entertaining. Like I show my mom K-pop, and she loves the performances. She loves the flashy music videos, you know? K-pop as a whole, as a medium nowadays, it's not just the audio format. It is also a visual format. So it's a bit of both. There are people that only listen to K-pop songs, don't care what the idols look like, don't care what their performances even do, don't even care about the choreography. But a lot of other people, they enjoy all the aspects of K-pop, right? Because it's not just a single medium. And I think that to me is the beauty of it. So then they announced the winner of the Dancesport. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I think it's beautiful to witness it on your own, and you know, that way you can still go into the show without getting spoiled. However, if you want to watch it and you can't access it in your country, maybe someone's Patreon has all the episodes on it. Not saying whose. Maybe it's there, and maybe it's free. Whoa! Anyway, moving on. After Dancesport comes the final event of ISAC, the 400-meter race. And this is a race where they pass the baton. You know, it's a relay race. And it was a nice event, the way it was wrapped up. You watch a lot of your idols run around in a circle. They're very entertaining. Oh, is she gonna keep the lead? Oh, Weekly's catching up. Weekly's catching up in the second place. We have a Kepler running real fast in the first place. Kepler still skipping the lead. You watch them go all out, and the camera angles go crazy. Like the little robots that they have flying around the track, the angles from like bottom. Like a lot of work was put into this event. Not to mention all the idols that showed up. It was just a fantastic way to wrap everything up. Some trips and falls here and there. You know, it's a track. I've tripped and fell before running like 30 meters, you know. I'm not saying I'm the best athlete in the world, you know. They even have like some bird's eye cams. It was a pretty crazy way to wrap up ISAC. Overall, it's the beauty of it is watching your favorite idols interact. But watching ISAC, apart from the fan cams, you didn't get too much of that. You get a little bit here and there. It was still mostly about the spirit of the competition, spirit of the championship, right? The idol interactions you get more off of the fan cams that you can get on Twitter, which I think were amazing, that a lot of people filmed. And you, when you search it on Twitter, you can find clips of it like flying around. Tons of it, like your favorite group interacting with this other group. Like a lot of these fan wars that people have, like it's almost non-existent within the fandom. You have everyone interacting with almost everyone. Maybe there's one or two groups that didn't interact, but maybe they just didn't have time. Like people are so quick to assume and judge and create narratives. Just let it be what it is. It's an event. Your idols are having fun. They're having a good time. They're happy to be there, right? And yeah, it truly is like an Avengers level event where you don't get anything like this. Like, sure, in Kagayo, your faves perform with another group that's also super omega popular, and you know there's more eyes and like television time for your group. Yeah, that's great. But this is like a true, this is what the industry looks like. This is everyone getting together, and I think it's beautiful, and I'm glad I watched ISAC this year. And again, it feels like a real passing of the baton. So yeah, what do you guys think about ISAC? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys think it was a good time? Personally, I'm tuning into ISAC next year if they have it next year. I don't know what the logistics are, but it truly is a fantastic event, and I'm so glad that they put something like this together. The announcers, you know, they be yapping. They do what they do. So yeah, all right, have a good one, and thanks for watching my video.